and we are live for a podcast, not for a live stream. How's everybody doing today? We're back with another episode 6 of the Film Saga podcast. Myself and Trevor over at Film Geeks here to bring you a pretty exciting episode. I'm ready to get into it, man.
Dude, I cannot wait. I've been looking forward to it all week, watching Nolan movies I've never seen before for this.
Oh, yeah.
And Tenet came out. I know you've seen Tenet more times than I have, but very, very cool to see it. And I'm seeing it actually after we record this podcast. I'm going to see it for my second time. I'm like so pumped to go see it again. And I wanted to, we talked about addressing this. We are having a little bit of technical difficulties, everyone. So if we lag a little bit, we apologize. It happens, cross-country podcasting isn't the easiest thing sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not in my normal location right now. It's Labor Day weekend. We're recording this, so I'm at my grandpa's house, and it's like 1,000 degrees in California where Trevor is.
Yes.
So that can mess with things. So yeah, just bear with us through this episode. If something goes wrong, we apologize, but we are here to talk about Christopher Nolan because, like you said, Tenet just came out, and I saw Tenet twice. We already talked about that a lot, but I am going to continue to see this movie. My goal is to see it 4 times in total to break my personal record of movies I've seen in theaters. My record's 3.
Wow. I
saw Force Awakens 3 times in theaters, Endgame, Infinity War, and I think the first Avengers movie. But yeah, I want to break that record.
So you like it like that much, you want to go 4 times?
Yeah, each time I watch it, I gain more from it. And it's like I haven't had this good of a cinematic experience in so long. And the score locks me. Like, we're going to talk about this more in the mock.
Get all into it,
yes. Tenet, dude. I can't get it out of my head. And I know a lot of people, it's a divisive movie. A lot of people love it. Some people hate it. They think it's just a confusing mess. And I kind of thought it was confusing after I first saw it. It's still a very confusing movie, a complex movie. Yeah. Definitely very complex.
Very complex.
But, the thing is, I just love that about it. I love that it's like a puzzle, and each time I watch it, I have to gain more from it. And I've compared it to in Interstellar in that sense. I gain more from Interstellar. And even Inception. Inception at a base level is pretty easy to comprehend. I think it's a confusing movie, but it's still you can really get it after one viewing, in my opinion. The thing is, you can theorize about Inception and stuff because you know the rules of the world, but that's a different story. But yeah, with Tenet, it's not everything is spoon fed to you, and that can be difficult for myself and a lot of people.
No, I watched Inception for the first time this past week, and I understood it right away. I have my theories. We were talking about them all week. I was like, no way. It's Inception is great. And all these movies, Nolan doesn't have a bad film in his filmography. And I gained a lot more after watching your spoiler review.
Really?
Oh, no. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, what happened? Did something happen?
Yeah, hold on a sec. I'm sorry. I got backed out of this or whatever. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties.
Please, baby. We're just going to roll with it. Sorry,
my whole thing is
on the audio version. You're probably so confused right now. You're like, "What happened? Am I in a hot
so
spot?"
It's like Tenet all over again.
Yeah,
Tenet all over again. When I watched your spoiler review, it just felt like a lot clearer when I was watching you and Andy talk about it. I was like, "Huh." I think it was a bad day for me. I had some personal stuff going on, and I was up at 3 a.m. that day for work, and I saw the movie at 9:00 at night. So I think I was just exhausted to see a really intense movie. So tonight I'm well rested. We have Monday off for Labor Day. I'm excited. I think we should kind of get into it now, though. If you're ready, I'm ready to get into.
No, yeah, I'm ready. I had a lot of fun editing a promotional video for this Mockskers. Been hyping it up all week, and that is the Christopher Nolan Mockskers. I am pumped to get into this. We only have 8 categories today because there's more to talk about with Nolan, so we figured we wouldn't go too crazy on the categories. And I'll go ahead and rattle those categories off, you guys. The Mockskers we are giving out today are going to be Best Antagonist, Best Protagonist, Best Visuals, Best Ensemble, meaning a large cast, Biggest Oscar Snub, because Nolan's been snubbed many times, Best Screenplay, Best Score, and of course, Best Film. A lot of these aren't going to be landslides. They're going to be very close. The polls they put up on the Instagram were very close. So without further ado, we can go ahead and get right into this, Trevor. If you want to announce the Audience Choice Award for Best Antagonist.
Yeah, so the Mocksker for Best Antagonist from the audience goes to landslide. Heath Ledger as the Joker. In second place came Tom Hardy as Bane. Heath Ledger is, I think, is that your pick as well?
For sure. The box goes to Ledger. I think that this is a no-brainer. This is the easiest category.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I was like, the second pick was Bane, who I was thinking of for a while, but I was like, Heath Ledger made The Dark Knight what it was and what it still is. I mean, this guy who we saw in 10 Things I Hate About You and A Knight's Tale and Brokeback Mountain comes out and gives this performance. It is mesmerizingly good. He only has like 30 minutes of screen time, and he's like one of the arguably best villains of all time. Doesn't get he gets his hands dirty, but a lot of time plays the orchestra, has so many things going around. You think you're on top of him, and then he got something playing out. And that's also Nolan giving that character true justice. The Dark Knight in general is great, but Joker himself is fantastic.
Yeah, his performance is nightmare inducing. I remember when I was about 8 or 9 when this movie came out, and my neighbor, I had older neighbors growing up. They were about 12, a few years older than me, and they saw The Dark Knight, and they had nightmares about the Joker for weeks, which I believe if I was really young when I saw it, and I even did see it, it didn't give me nightmares. It was a very scary performance though. And at school, everyone would always they would you want me to make this pencil disappear? Like everyone
yes.
at school. And he is a very quotable villain. I remember in the opening heist, you're like, which one's is the Joker a part of this? And it really has this focus on one guy. And his reveal when he goes, I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger. It's just so that's an iconic moment. And he just has this great back and forth with Bale's Batman, like the interrogation scene. Come on, that's iconic Batman and iconic Nolan right there. It's going to be really hard for a villain that Nolan creates to ever top this, because it's a once in a lifetime performance, honestly. And rest in peace to Heath Ledger, because it is so sad. That man really almost gave his life for this performance. He went all out. He was so dedicated, and it's really sad what happened.
Yeah, if you hear how intense method acting he really went, the stuff he did for this role, I mean, it's scary how serious he went for. Why so serious? It's another line. My favorite line from the Joker is, I say it all the time when I'm driving, is the guy who's driving a semi-truck dies, and he rips him out of the truck and he goes, excuse me, I want to drive. I say that all the time when I'm passing someone. That's one of my favorite Joker lines. Fantastic villain, fantastic performance. Dark Knight itself is a great movie, which we'll, I'm sure, get into later as we go on in this episode. But next up is Best Protagonist. And do you want to reveal it? Do you want me to reveal it?
You could reveal the audience, yeah.
Okay.
I'm
so
pretty
the audience,
sure
the audience gave their Best Protagonist to Bruce Wayne / Batman from The Dark Knight as well. Sticking on the topic of The Dark Knight, I think this is an easier one because he had 3 movies to truly get rooted for and truly shine.
Yeah.
My pick as well. But I think that's kind of he has an edge over, say, Cobb from Inception and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because my pick is Cobb from Inception, played by Leonardo DiCaprio. Hot take, I know. Yeah, I know a lot of people voted for Bruce Wayne, but I'm going with Cobb. I just think that, first of all, I'll let you go first because the audience and most people would say Bruce Wayne. So you can go ahead and go first. And then I'll dig into Cobb.
So, I mean, Christian Bale did this role such justice, and it's crazy how many movies. I think he's done the most movies with Nolan over any other actor, minus
I believe so. Maybe Michael Caine.
Yeah, I was about to say Michael Caine as well has been in a lot, but Christian Bale been in a ton, and he's just great as Batman. I'm not the biggest fan of Batman Begins. That's a topic for another time, but The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises is such an easy character to root for. Dark Knight Rises, especially after he has 8 years retired, then he has that one-on-one fight with Bane, gets sent to rock bottom, literally, then comes back victorious on top. Nolan's just way of just capturing us with his scores from Hans Zimmer or just his story in general, how he just fueled this character of Batman who's so iconic, we've seen so many times before, make him different and make him just this badass entity of Bruce Wayne and the Batman. I love this. It's not my favorite Batman, but I still love Christian Bale as Batman a lot.
Who is your favorite Batman, real quick?
The Batfleck.
Batfleck? Okay.
I love Batfleck a lot. But Christian Bale's, it's like a tie almost. I love Batfleck, but I really do love Christian Bale as well.
Right now, I have to say Bale's my favorite, but fingers crossed for Pattinson, man. That's my new man crush for anyone listening. I'm obsessed with Robert Pattinson. I really am.
He was so good in Tenet. I mean,
he's awesome.
And he looked so handsome. I told my girlfriend when I saw him, I said, "Oh my god, he looks handsome." I'm sorry, but he did, dude. I was like, God.
I called my girlfriend after Tenet and I said, I have a new man crush. It's Robert Pattinson. And I always thought he was a good-looking man. But by the way, we're changing the name of this episode to Robert Pattinson is my new man crush or something like that. No, I'm just messing around. But he's a great-looking man. But off the topic of Robert Pattinson, my Moxker for best hero has to be Dom Cobb, and the reason I do that is because this is Christopher Nolan Moxkers, and while he is responsible for Christian Bale's Batman, I view Batman as more of his own thing. Like there's so many different iterations of Batman, and while yes, Christopher Nolan is responsible, like I said, he actually created Dom Cobb, an original character, and that's why I think it's like Nolan's probably his best protagonist in my opinion. He's such a tortured individual, and Leonardo DiCaprio plays him so well. Like he just wants to get home to see his kids, James and Philippa, and he's haunted by Maul. He's haunted by his wife. He can't get her out of his head. He feels responsible for a bunch of things that happened in that movie, and he's just a very brilliant guy too when it comes to the idea of Inception, the way he's able to pull off these different dream heists. Essentially, he's an extremely interesting character, complex emotionally, and that's why I think he's the best protagonist. He's also my favorite. And it's probably because Leonardo DiCaprio plays him, so that automatically gives him an edge just because his acting is unmatched. Like I really do love Leo. I think he probably should have got nominated for an Oscar, but it was 2010. That was a competitive year. But yeah, I have to go with Cobb. Is he probably your number 2?
You made a really good point that like Batman kind of is something else outside of it. If we're talking like original characters from Nolan movies, I would say almost Cooper from Interstellar.
Okay, yeah.
Matthew McConaughey
he came in third in the poll.
He did come in third. Yeah. So his whole thing about like how he loves his kids so much, and like this emotion Matthew McConaughey brings behind his performance in Interstellar. It may be unpopular, one of my favorite Nolan films. I think it is brilliant. So that's probably my second. But Dom Cobb is damn good as well. But to me, he seems a little slimy a little bit too. You know, like you don't know what exactly he's going to do inside the dream. Because like, I don't want to give away spoilers to someone who hasn't seen a movie. I know it's 10 years old, but you never know if he's going to bring someone else, some of his subconscious, who's going to come in. And you kind of think like maybe he's trying to despise the plan so he can stay there with that specific subconscious or something. To me, he made me kind of irritated several times. I was like, don't do it. Oh, he's doing it again, you know? But that's what Nolan does. He gets you in all the feels, the emotional, the action, and definitely like you get so invested in these characters.
Yeah, you definitely do. But that's it for the characters that we're talking about today. The next category, they really do get interesting, in my opinion, from here. So you go ahead and read the next one, Trevor.
So the next one is best visuals.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the audience choice again for that one?
Audience gave it to Interstellar. I'm giving it to Interstellar. And you are giving it to...
I wrote down Interstellar. And we can talk about Interstellar, but I will give an honorable mention when we're done talking about it. But it's hard to not give it to Interstellar because it is such a beautiful space movie. And anytime you can pull off like space visual effects, that's usually going to win. And I think of like the scene where they're on the water planet, and that's just a gorgeous scene. I rewatched it the other day. Not only is the score in that scene like insane, but just the way like they're running in the water and then the massive wave. It's just beautifully shot, man. This movie has the best visuals, I think.
Yeah, I think it truly does. And like, I'm a sucker for space movies, but like to see Christopher Nolan go like out of his realm to make almost like not a sci-fi movie, but kind of in a way like a space sci-fi time travel movie. You're just like, it's crazy inventive, and the visuals here, I think it was an easy choice for me for this one. You know, I was like, yeah, Interstellar is visually stunning. All of his movies are, but this one specifically is visually stunning.
Definitely is. Like I think of that one scene too. I think it's like called The Slingshot or something. I could be wrong. I haven't seen the movie in a few years. It's like a wide shot of like the spaceship just turning. It's beautiful.
Yes.
And space looks so good in this. In general,
it looks so real. Like you're like, did you really go in space to shoot this? That's how like just great and like it looks. But what's your honorable mention?
Honorable mention is Inception, just because of how innovative it was. Like when it comes down to the dream sequences, when he's like bending when Ariadne, I believe, is like bending the buildings on top of each other. Like essentially Doctor Strange took directly from Inception. And I think Inception is like responsible for, I think years from now, visual effects teams on movies will have been inspired by Inception. So I think that's why it should get an honorable mention, just because like it changed the game for visual effects. Yeah.
It really could have honestly maybe won. Like that was my second choice. Like especially even like the hallway scene where like they're running, they run like basically upside down, like as their room spinning. You know?
Yeah.
It's so dope, so awesome. Everything about the movie, or like the buildings just falling when they're at the bottom floor of the dream, and towards the end when they're at Cobb's dream place, everything's falling. That it just looks so. It's everything about Nolan does. It looks so good.
He's brilliant. I don't know how he crafts a lot of these ideas. But yeah, the visuals in all of his movies are really good. Like even if it's practical effects and Tenet, which I heard didn't have any CGI, it's all brilliant. And Tenet is a beautiful movie. I think that it'd probably be an honorable mention. I don't know if it will win the Oscar for visual effects this year, just because so much of it is practical. But it could. It'll probably get nominated. I'd say. I think it would get nominated.
Yeah, I just hope Nolan gets he hasn't won Best Picture or Best Director, has he?
Nope, he has never won an Oscar. In general,
isn't that terrible? How is that even possible? It makes no sense to me. I'm like,
we're gonna talk about that here in a second. I'm excited to talk about that category. I think we have one in between.
Yeah, we have one more in between. Another character one. It's Best Ensemble. Ensemble, for those who don't know, is the supporting characters around it. And the audience Moxker went to Inception. My Moxker is going to Inception. And yours?
I'm not going Inception.
Really?
I have to go with The Dark Knight Rises here, pretty easily, in my opinion.
Wow, that's actually a really good one.
You've got Tom Hardy as Bane, Anne Hathaway as Catwoman, Michael Caine as Alfred, and you actually have Marianne Cotillard. Joseph Gordon-Levitt isn't. So there's some carryover. There's a lot of carryover because Marianne Cotillard is in Inception. She plays Maul, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt's Arthur, and he's also, I call him Robin because I don't really remember the guy's name in The Dark Knight Rises. He's Robin though. Come on now.
Yeah.
But the cast in that one loaded, and Bale. If you count the entire cast and crew, it's just so good. So I have to go with The Dark Knight Rises. I think that Inception does have a great cast, but I don't think that it really. I just think the names in The Dark Knight Rises are better. I think that as a cast, they play off each other more. That's just my opinion, though. I know that's probably the minority.
I'm going Inception because you got Leo DiCaprio, Tom Hardy, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the girl you mentioned. I always forget her name or how to say her name.
Oh yeah, Marianne Cotillard. I think I'm probably pronouncing that wrong.
Yeah, you have Michael Caine as well, Marianne Cotillard, how to say her name, and you have Cillian Murphy. I mean, and you also have.
He makes a 2-second appearance in The Dark Knight Rises in the courtroom.
He does, yeah, he does. It's very funny how similar these two kind of are. How many?
Yeah, I know. He uses the same cast, I swear.
Yeah, and if you take the name, you said the bigger names. I guess Anne Hathaway's a big name, but you still have Tom Hardy in Inception, but Leo DiCaprio is technically the biggest name in Hollywood. So that's why I was leaning more towards Inception than one of the Dark Knight movies.
Wait a second. I think I might have, if we were in a debate, Morgan Freeman. The Dark Knight Rises. That might take the cake.
That's true. That's true. I always forget. I always forget he's in those. Yeah. But I prefer Inception's ensemble cast because they're on screen so often together. The team is always together. And what's her name? I got the Blu-ray somewhere here. I gotta find out her name. She doesn't age. She was in Juno. She's in.
Oh yeah, I don't know the actress name off the top of my head.
Ellen Page.
Yep, that's
Ellen
it.
Page.
That's it. Yeah,
she's great. She does not age. She's looked the same for the last 10 years. It's crazy. Yeah,
I've only seen her, and unless I'm forgetting something, I've only seen her in Inception. I haven't seen Juno.
She's in X-Men: The Last Stand. She's in Juno. She's also in.
I have seen her in that.
Yep, and she's also in what's the show I was just watching recently? Umbrella Academy. She's the main gal in Umbrella Academy. Yeah, and she looks exactly the same. I'm like, what the heck? It's crazy, but I digress off all that. Next up, which kind of mentioned earlier, but it's Biggest Oscar Snub. And the audience gave their Oscar to not getting nominated Best Director for Inception. You can't go wrong with that one. That's not my pick, but you can't go wrong with it. That's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. My pick is not getting any nominations for The Prestige.
Okay.
Prestige is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. And when I found that out when we were doing this Oscars, I was like, he didn't get nominated for anything? Anything for The Prestige? That's heartbreaking, man. So that's my pick. What's your pick?
My pick is, I had something written down, but I realized just now the disgrace that he wasn't nominated for anything. I'm sorry. He wasn't nominated for director or picture for The Dark Knight. Now, I don't know if he was producer on the film. I don't know the technicalities of that. But the fact that The Dark Knight in general wasn't nominated for Best Picture is what I'm kind of going with here. And that still counts because it's a Nolan film. But '08 wasn't even like that strong of a year. I want to say Slumdog Millionaire won Best Picture. Haven't seen it. It's on the 100 movies list. I'll get to it eventually. But like the fact they only did 5 nominations back then, and The Dark Knight is a movie that is in the top 5 on IMDb's top 250.
Yeah.
Everyone has seen this movie. Everyone loves it. And it is, by a lot of people's standards, the best comic book movie of all time. But not only comic book movie, the best Nolan movie, a lot of people think. So, like, I don't understand what the Academy watched. I mean, they gave the Oscar to Heath Ledger's performance. The movie itself is fantastic. So I don't know what on earth happened there. That's disgraceful to me. I will never forgive it, honestly. It's annoying. Yes, it is disgraceful he didn't get nominated for director for Inception or anything for The Prestige, but come on, The Dark Knight not getting a Best Picture nomination? Get out of here.
I mean, but like Nolan doesn't get any love apparently ever from Academy doesn't like him. I think like he's like so complex, and they're like, yeah, screw this dude, because like, I mean, every movie he does, like Tenet, I understand it's the divisive film, but should get nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, and this is Nolan's best chance at this year of winning it. But he also got Denis Villeneuve, Dune coming out, all that topic for another time. Like, Nolan, it's crazy that he has no Oscar love anything.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if he might be like Hitchcock, like Alfred Hitchcock never won an Oscar. And a lot of people are saying he could be like that. I think Kubrick didn't win an Oscar. So a lot of these like really famed directors who have like a following just never, and see what I did there? Following? Bad dad joke. But you get the point. He doesn't get any love for some reason. And I don't know if he ever will at this point. Like he still has a lot of movies left to make, but I just don't know if he's ever going to get that Oscar. It's unfortunate. I think he should have won director for Dunkirk, truth be told.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's honestly, it's like irritating that he hasn't won, you know. Yeah. Anyways, I digress yet again. Next up, which is a very fun one, Best Original Screenplay. Okay. The Oscar for the audience goes Inception. The Oscar for Trevor goes to Inception.
And the Oscar for Chris goes to Inception. Come on, nice. This is Christopher Nolan's baby. He spent like 15 years writing it, I want to say. 10 to 15 years writing this thing. Wow. And the fact that I don't think we're ever going to... I mean, I don't think someone who's not Nolan could make a movie like this, ever. No.
Ever. Like, I don't know how he didn't... I wasn't confused when watching it, but like, I don't know how he didn't get confused when writing it. Like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I am
grateful that he was nominated. I'm grateful he was nominated for Best Original Screenplay, but like... Oh, it's wild to me, man. Wild.
Like how four dreams, a dream within a dream. You're gonna plan something. It's literally insane. You like as an audience member, you're so torn as to what's. Am I lagging at all?
Yeah, you're lagging a little bit, but I can still hear you. Bit.
Yeah, you've been lagging a little bit too. So again, everyone, we apologize. Technical difficulties.
If you guys can't hear the final product of this, we'll make a video on it. No, we'll just like put a video version out if. Yeah, this is that, but I'm sure that it's fine. Just let us know and bear with us as we continue our podcast journey. Cross country podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one of us has to move to Sacramento or Georgia so we can figure this out better. Anyways, that's how Nolan created this film. I was like, it's mesmerizing that he can create this film and like have so many loose ends, and like if anything is out of order or anything, it could be just fall apart, and it didn't. It's like you said, it's his baby. 10 to 15 years? That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. And he just wrote every character so well, especially like the relationship between Dom Cobb and Dom Cobb is one person. I don't know why I acted like they were two when I said that. Between Cobb and Maul, it's just insanity. The concept of limbo and, like you said, Inception, the concept for that itself is insane. This movie is something that everyone should see. I'm sure most of you have, of course. It's one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. But it's essentially one of the most confusing, complex movies ever made, at least when it comes to the idea, because it is not insanely hard to follow, but you can get lost if you overthink it. And once you start reading into theories, like your mind will be all over the place. I've had discussions with Ryan from Nerdy Blurb TV. If you're listening, Ryan, we had a great discussion about Inception that I think we still talk about like off the records just because it's so much fun to discuss.
Me and him been talking about him and I. Sorry, I'm illiterate. Him and I will be talking over on Instagram about what really happened at the end of Inception. Me and him actually agree a little bit. It's more. I feel more satisfied with the way me and Ryan think, and Yeah, we only have 2 more categories here, so we can stick on this for a second. But the next 2, I know we'll get on for a while. But best screenplay. If you couldn't give to Inception, what would you give to?
If I could not give screenplay to Inception, I'd probably give it to The Prestige.
Agreed. I almost gave it to The Prestige. I said Inception, no lie. I think it creeps its way into my top 5 of all time from that one watch.
Inception?
I don't know if it probably lagged there, but Inception creeped its way into my top 5 all time after one watch.
Yeah.
Not even kidding. When I haven't, and I've seen Tenet and I've seen a couple of his other movies. I watched Following. I watched all these movies for the first time. And the one I can't stop thinking about is Inception. And I saw Tenet, which was a new one, but Inception was like a new movie to me. I was like, I can't get this out of my head. And I think Nolan solidified a spot as my favorite director of all time. We'll have to do a director Oscars because there's so many good ones. But
that would be a fun one to do like near the Oscars time. Like the actual Oscars,
sure.
we could do best director. We could do like different categories of the Oscars, but Oscars. Yes. That would be a lot of fun.
No, exactly.
But,
it'd be super fun.
Yeah, I think The Prestige would have to be runner-up for me because it's written literally like the Magic Act. You know what I'm saying? I believe like each act follows the 3 acts that you do as a magician. It's like the Pledge, the Turn, and the Prestige, I think, are the 3. I want to say. It could be in a different order, but I think those are like the 3 steps or whatever they use to perform their tricks. And yeah, it's brilliant. He writes, every script he writes is good in my opinion. Good to great.
Yeah, and the one film where he didn't write a script, which I watched for the first time recently, was Insomnia, and you can truly tell he did not write the script because it's very simplistic and it's very just kind of dull in a way with great actors from Al Pacino to Robin Williams. The script itself was not nearly as complex as Nolan would have made it. But topic for another time again. Nolan is fantastic in The Prestige, or maybe even for me, Interstellar. Just again, dude, it's so good. And like at the very end, when like he goes and sees that one person, like he finally comes back to her, you know what I'm talking about, without being very, I'm being very non-spoilery, but that just how he turned it around was amazing. How like in the beginning, like the baseball team, like the New York Yankees, it's like old, like it seemed like old fashioned again in modern day time. You know, like it was just how he does with time, or what he does with time is nothing short of extraordinary.
I don't know. Yeah, like I saw this funny tweet about Nolan and clocks. I don't know if you've seen that tweet. A little profane, but it's a pretty funny tweet, and I think it's kind of accurate.
Yeah, no, for sure. The second to last category for this episode, best score. This is going to be a fun one.
Best score, yeah. I love me some scores, so this is a good one to talk about.
Yeah. Moxker for the audience goes to Inception. Moxker for Trev goes to Tenet.
And the Moxker for Chris goes to Tenet.
Nice.
Score. It is phenomenal. One of the best scores I've ever heard in my entire life. And it shook me. Like physically in the theater, my chair was shaking at the beginning in the opera scene.
I was watching the film in the beginning opera scene, it was how you told me it's like the loudest movie ever. And I was like, I've seen so many action movies in theaters. My lungs, I'm a skinny guy for those who don't know. My lungs were vibrating and my ribs were like shaking. I was like vibrating in my chair. And like I could barely like hear anyone else in the theater, you know, like if like someone wanted to fight me in the theater, they were yelling at me, I would not hear them. How like just riveting this was. And then my girlfriend would ask me a question and I'd be like, what'd you say? I can't. Oh my God. It was like riding a roller coaster, how loud it was. And I've listened to his score. I'm talking to Jaron Williams from Jaron Talks Movies. We've been listening to the score on repeat. The first song, I don't go past the first song because it's a 7.5 minute song, and I just replay it. The music you use for the video, you know, the claps, the boom, boom. That's just how he does it.
So good.
And then I have my truck. I have pretty good speakers in my truck, so I cranked it as loud as I could so I could get vibrated while I was driving today, like in the movie. And I literally felt it. I was like, oh yes, there it is.
It makes you want to speed. You got to be careful. You're going to get a speeding ticket listening to it.
I'm a slow driver, but it makes driving intense. I'm a really slow driver, and I think it solidified itself as my favorite score of all time. And I love me a good score. I mean, after just the one watch, that's what I took back. I don't know if you heard me at all. I might have lagged. But
I heard you.
favorite score of all time.
Yep.
It is it's crazy. That's the one thing after I watched it, I was like, yeah, like just how confused I was after watching it first time, because I'm still confused. I can't wait to rewatch it tonight. But I was like, I've never experienced a score that riveting and that like intense. It was beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's my favorite score of all time just yet, but it's definitely making its way to the top 10. I was saying Ludwig Göransson, and it's actually Ludwig Göransson, because he is Swedish, I want to say. So I apologize for mispronouncing his name, but he also does the Mandalorian and the Black Panther score. Both phenomenal. He won the Oscar for Black Panther, and I think he's going to win the Oscar for Tenet. It's that good. It acts as a character in the movie, and I'm pulling up the soundtrack on Spotify. I don't want to get it wrong. I think it's Posterity is phenomenal. It's literally in a scene where he says posterity to Cat. That's not a spoiler, very broad. And then like it kicks in, and wow, it's so good. I think they used that one in one of the trailers too. But the whole entire score is fantastic, man. Like I genuinely I get an adrenaline rush listening to it. I want to go back to the movie theater, not only to see the epic action on the screen, but to hear the score on that surround sound system again, so that it can shake me and just give me an adrenaline rush. It gets me so freaking pumped, man. I love this score.
No, hey, I love it too, dude. Everything you said, I agree with wholeheartedly. That's my favorite part of the movie. That's the favorite part of the movie. Go ahead.
Definitely. But I will say Hans Zimmer's Inception and Interstellar scores are extremely close, and all of the Nolan scores are usually great, but those three that I just listed, phenomenal. Like Inception is so hard to top, so I know why the audience picked it. But Tenet right now, it could just be recency bias, but I mean, I love it. I can't get it out of my head.
I will say this: only other Nolan film I've seen in theaters is The Dark Knight. Only seen 2.
Really?
So it's Dark Knight and Tenet. And I think that's why, if I saw Inception in theaters, I might be like, man, that was crazy. If I saw Dunkirk, Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar in theaters, I'm like, man, that score's crazy. But I haven't. I see him at home. But Tenet in theaters is crazy. Tenet in theaters was crazy. Yeah.
Sorry if we're talking over each other. There's like a lag happening between both of us, I'm pretty sure. But like it still looks fine. Like we love doing this. As long as we get to talk and put out an episode, we really don't care. We apologize though if you're experiencing we are just experiencing technicals with this. I can't even talk right now. So I'm just like I'm all over the place. I'm also very thirsty. So if you're listening, I apologize. But as I was saying, I saw the following Nolan films in theaters. I saw The Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, Dunkirk, Tenet, and then I went back and saw Inception when it was re-released a few weeks ago, which was awesome. Like it was enhanced. That experience was awesome. The score, like you said, if you saw Inception in theaters, I think you might end up picking it. But I will say that Tenet is the loudest movie I've ever seen in theaters.
Loudest. I think like Nolan really outdid himself with Tenet. Like it's definitely his biggest film to date, blowing up that actual airplane. I mean, no visual, it's all practical effects. I mean, the gunfights, there was like I want to say there was like literally over like 1,000 people on the screen, like in these action sequences he has. It's, I don't know how he does it. I don't know where do you find people, 1,000 people to be on screen in this movie, you know? I was wondering.
I don't know, like in the opera scene you're talking about, wild.
Yeah, or like even when an end battle scene, you know, the end action, it's like how many people are on screen at once. You're just like, what the heck? It's like I got a role in the movie. Oh, nice. Where are you? I'm in the very, 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 very back behind all those people shooting guns. You're like, oh, cool, you know. But it's it's just crazy. The scope and the spectacle he created with Tenet. Keep it on too long about Tenet, but it's growing on me more and more. I thought about it. It was at 3 out of 5 when I first saw it. I'm at 3.5 out of 5 now. Okay. Probably after tonight. After tonight, it's going to go back down to 3. Or it's going to go up to 4/4.5. One of the two.
Yeah,
it's going up or down after
rewatch, because like a second watch clarifies a lot, especially when you like watch explained videos and stuff that really like make you. It's gonna make you look for details that you didn't on your first watch. That's at least what I did.
Yeah, sure, no, for sure.
Yeah.
So
we can get to the big
category. Yes, sir. The big last category for this episode of the Nolan Oscars, best film. And drum roll, we have a tie.
We have a tie.
And the tie is between The Dark Knight and Following. Never thought it would make it on this list, man. It's crazy. Totally joking, everyone. It's Inception, not Following. The Dark Knight and Inception tie for first. I'm not surprised. I'm more surprised The Dark Knight got so many votes, but like I don't know, because that's not my favorite. It's not even close to my favorite.
Yeah,
But when I saw that, I was like, wow. But like I guess that's a lot of people's number one, man. It really is.
Yeah. Andy, who I did a video on this with recently, his number one,
Yeah.
and I think his favorite movie of all time is The Dark Knight. So it's definitely a popular pick. Yeah, people love The Dark Knight. I do too. It's really good. It's not my favorite though. Not my favorite, and I don't think it's the best either.
I don't either. But my pick, it's really hard because I've been talking about one movie the whole time. But I'm going to be different because of how this movie made me feel right after. Shoot, I can't do that. I got to say Inception. I was going to say The Prestige, but I'm saying Inception. I was going to say The Prestige. It's Inception.
Yeah, I am also. It's Inception. The Mockster goes to Inception. I can't fathom how this movie was made. It still blows my mind. And the final product is just phenomenal filmmaking, from the score, the action, the plot itself, the dialogue, the characters, everything about this movie is perfect. I described it as a chef's kiss in my ranking. That's exactly what the movie is. I know Trevor and I like to say the chef's kiss thing every now and then. It's true. That's what this movie is.
Shit all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie's perfect.
No, it is absolute. It's no maybe, but I don't even know how he made this back in like 2010. You know, it seems like it's definitely ahead of its time. And I feel like as it kind of went on over the years, it grew more and more love, you know, especially at least for me for this year, fell in love with this movie. It's kind of sad because I don't think he'll ever make a movie close to being as good as the Inception again. Like it will always be compared for fans to Inception or The Dark Knight. And everyone's like, he'll never get there again. So I hope he does. Hope he does. But,
I mean, a lot of people would put like Interstellar up there. I know a lot of people think Interstellar is his best movie. People say
I'm
that
one of them.
Dunkirk is
I'm one of them.
movie.
Yeah.
So to some, he has reached those heights. For me, it's going to be hard to top Inception, but I still think Tenet years from now could be my favorite. I really do. Years from now.
Yeah, well, I didn't see The Prestige or Inception until this year, and before that, Interstellar was my favorite Nolan movie, and it still might be. I'm so just like, undecisive when it comes to this, but Interstellar is like top 3 for me. Interstellar is extremely, it's loved but kind of slept on in the same time, I think.
Yeah, Interstellar, it's not one I rewatch as much. That's like the kind of the issue I have, is because it's so long, I don't rewatch it as much. While Inception is so long, I remember watching that movie a ton when I was younger. I had the DVD before I had the Blu-ray. I'd watch it on car rides. Like, that's a weird movie to watch on car rides, but I would. I've probably seen it, I don't know, close to 10 times, I want to say. It's a really great movie. Really awesome. I mean, it's the best in my opinion. We've talked about it so much, there's not much left to say.
There really isn't.
You can debate down below in the comments on the video version, dream or reality. That's all I'll say. You can
dream. Oh, I couldn't hear you at all, my friend. I still can't hear you. Oh no. As we get to the end of the podcast, technical difficulty out. I don't know if you can hear me, but I cannot hear you, my friend. You are frozen bad. He's loading again. Can you hear me now? You froze so bad.
I just logged out so bad. I am so sorry for anyone watching.
Apologize for everyone who stayed around to the very end. I was about to just wrap it up and say, well, thank you guys for tuning in. But Nolan Mockskers, that is a wrap on the Nolan Mockskers. What Mockskers do you guys want to see us do? Let us know down below in the comments. DM us over on Instagram. We love doing the Mockskers. It's a lot of fun. So let us know which director you want us to do next, or franchise in general, and we will start making a list and start getting down through them.
Yeah, and I want to apologize again. We had a lot of technical difficulties this episode.
It happens, yeah.
Just bear with us. We're working on it still. We're not in our normal. Well, I'm not in my normal location. And
it's 109 in Sacramento today. So when that happens, my Wi-Fi gets all janked up. So it's a really rare day. Chris isn't home, and it's 109 where I'm at. So it happens.
But I hope you guys did enjoy the episode still. Love talking Christopher Nolan. Moxkers are fun, like Trevor said. Definitely drop some suggestions down below. When new movies start coming out, it'll be easier for us to align with the new movie. Like when Wonder Woman comes out, maybe we'll be doing a DCEU related episode. So
we are. And if you don't want to do it, I'm going by myself.
All right. You can get another guest on. I will catch up before Wonder Woman if you're listening.
Yeah.
But Trevor, do you have anything you want to plug real quick? Anywhere the people can find you?
You can find me over on Instagram. I'm Trevor Sondrel, and or the Film Saga Podcast is Chris and I's Instagram for this. Yeah. The Film Saga Podcast on the Film Saga YouTube channel, the video version. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, Podbean, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find us. Twitter, Trev Sondrel1, and Instagram, I am Film Geeks, and I have a purple logo with the FG, and you will see me.
Awesome. We'll definitely head over to Film Geeks and subscribe to him. Trevor, just an awesome friend and a great YouTuber, so definitely show him some support. And
thanks, buddy.
As for the Film Stock channel, I have videos coming out this week. I might not be doing a video a day, but I'm still going to have videos out for you guys. Live streams. I love doing collabs, all that good stuff. So we'll announce sometime this week on the Instagram page at the Film Saga Podcast what next week's episode will be about. We may or may not do Moxkers. We may have a guest on. Who knows? Definitely stay tuned. We'll let you know there. And thank you again for sticking with us through the technical difficulties. Trevor, I had a lot of fun with this episode, man.
Yeah, I did too. And we'll wrap it up before we have any more glitches or anything. But again, everyone who's sticking around to the very end, do sincerely apologize for technical difficulties. We will hope for the best for the next week's episode.
Yep, and we will see you guys in the next episode. And until then, you determine whether or not you actually watched this. See you guys next time.